What's up, YouTube? So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that's reincarnation. I couldn't wait to do this particular YouTube video because I do tons of videos over TikTok and Facebook and Instagram regarding this very same subject. And I came across a lot of interesting comments in the comment section from people who experience reincarnation, still remember their past life, or their children remember their past life. And I want to share those stories with you. But first, I want to share my personal favorite reincarnation stories. So let's get to it. The first case I want to share with you all is the case of Barbara Carlin. She claimed to be Anne Frank and had the receipts to back it up. When Barbara was just 3 years old, she would always tell her parents that her name wasn't Barbara, but it was Anne. Like Anne, Barbara was afraid of police and afraid of showers. She also was really good at writing. She had her first book published at the age of 12. Her parents noticed she had this major obsession with this last life. They took her to see so many psychiatrists and they just shrugged it off as just an overreactive imagination. Not only that, she withheld a lot of information because she didn't want to seem like she was wasting their time. Finally, her parents took her to the Anne Frank house. And once she was there, she was able to maneuver around the city with no problem. Soon as she got to the house, she recognized that the stairs were different and that the inside was different because the pictures were missing. The mother asked the caretaker where were the pictures. The caretaker told her that they removed them because too many people were touching them. Her memories faded away at the age of 15, the same age Anne Frank was when she died. You also have the case of James Leiniger, the boy who remembered being a World War II.
Give yourself walk around the room real quick, because I was hearing you once I got the shower. You keep I'm getting frustrated. Just give yourself a quick walk around.
All right, I'll give myself a quick walk. Let's try this again. You have the case of James Leiniger, the boy who remembered being a World War II fighter pilot. Not only did he recall being a pilot, but he was also able to remember where exactly his plane went down, as well as remembering the surviving members he served with during World War II. Then you have the case of Luke Ruhlman, the boy who remembered being a black woman that died in a fire in Chicago 17 years earlier. These are just some of many documented cases of reincarnation. So if you follow me on TikTok, you know that I recently did a series on past lives and reincarnation, and I got a lot of interesting comments. And out of all of those comments, these are the ones that stood out to me the most. The first story I'm going to share with you is both comforting and sad. It's about a daughter who remembered being aborted and came back to her mother years later. Her daughter at 2 years old came emotionally running to her to describe a decision that her mother made 19 years ago. She was so upset about all the blood and why the doctors decided to throw her away in a trash can. She thought that the doctors were mean from her perspective, but she didn't know that it was her mother's decision. The mother hugged her daughter really tight and cried. After this moment, her daughter has no memory of the incident even occurring, nor does she bring it up. It was as if her daughter's soul was always meant for her mother. Even after 19 years, the soul still returned. Now, what's interesting about this particular story is the shadow work that was done through reincarnation. It was as if both the mother and daughter both accepted their past trauma. They both were able to move on. The next story is about a woman who believes she was a soldier during the Vietnam War. She would get really emotional whenever watching documentaries about war. In these dreams, she remembered carrying a gun, trying to be quiet while in a man's body. She also stated that her birthday is in May, which is Military Appreciation Month, which is no coincidence because if you pay attention to your astrological birth chart, it can identify your purpose for incarnating on this planet during this lifetime. The last story I'm going to share with you all is about a woman who believes her daughter is the reincarnation of her partner's grandfather. She stated she found out that she was pregnant right before her current partner's grandfather died. Her daughter started saying that she was the grandfather and started describing vivid memories and details about his life that she wouldn't have known at just 3 years old. She noticed as an infant that the only things that soothed her were Elvis and old Western music, which were all things that he enjoyed. She had a very advanced understanding of mathematics and physics, which were all topics that he studied. She even met the widow of the deceased grandfather, and the widow even described her soul as feeling familiar. At 6 years old, she said she had a lot of bad memories that she can't recall. The bad thoughts stay in your head, but they never go away. prior to all of this, the mother was never a believer in reincarnation until her daughter opened her eyes to it. Now, is reincarnation just a phenomenon where kids are just experiencing false memories from their imagination? Or are they actually experiencing memories from a past life? And if they are, should we listen? Well, that's all we have time for today's video, but I would love to know your thoughts. And I would also love to hear your reincarnation stories. So please feel free to leave them in the comment section, because who knows, maybe my next series and videos on reincarnation, I might just be reading your story. Until next time, people.
Tap into the frequency line.